What's up guys, I'm Branch with Korbin's Archery. Today I'm going to be showing you how to use the Bitzenberger Fletching Jig. This is a very common fletching jig that I use. A lot of people who are fletching their own arrows are going to use because it's highly versatile. You can do a 3-fletch, 4-fletch, you can do different offsets, helicals. I think you can even do a 6-fletch with the right nock receiver. So kind of does it all. You can play with your different vane configurations, find what flies the best for you, or set it up for different scenarios and situations. It's very accurate, very consistent. You can put the vanes in the same spot as you go through, so it's used by a lot of top shooters as well. And today we're just going to break down how to use it, go through the different parts, understanding the jig as a whole. So starting off, I'll break down the components of the fletching jig just so we kind of got a better understanding. Now when I go to use my arrow to fletch, I have a better camera angle so you can see a little bit better. But starting out, we'll talk about our clamps. So this is going to be a straight clamp, and you can also get this in a left helical and a right helical. For this demonstration, I'll just be using the straight clamp. So you do have the options to run a helical with this jig, just have to buy an extra clamp. You can see on these two circles right here, this is going to be how you adjust the offset of your fletching, or just line it up with your arrow, find what works the best, fits the best. You would loosen these two set screws and then turn these knobs, and I'll show you how to find that right fit in just a second. Now on your receiver end, this is going to be the nock receiver. This is going to be an AE aftermarket, so it's a little bit upgraded, a little bit cleaner. As I rotate, there's not any slop in there. The one that comes with the Bitzenberger is a good one. I decided to try this out. There's a few features. The main thing I believe is this little set screw that you can see right in here. If I like to nock tune my arrows, so if I fletch an arrow and shoot my vane off, instead of having to twist my nock to find exactly where I want to be, I can loosen that set screw and turn my arrow without turning my nock. So it keeps everything in the same configuration. Tighten it back down, put my fletching on, and be good to go. So it just helps to repair your arrows. Like I said, a little bit less slop in there, but both of the nock receivers are work really well. So you do have different options in terms if you want to run a 3-fletch, 4-fletch, or a X-wing kind of 4-fletch. So to adjust that, you'll have your 3 set screws right here. And for our 3-fletch, it's going to be the top one, and it's going to be 120 degrees, meaning every rotation of the nock of the receiver end is rotating 120 degrees. Now I will say, if you tighten this down too much, it's going to be really hard to turn this end. So you want to find where there's not a lot of slop, but it's also not super duper hard to rotate it. So kind of find that good balance, back out those other 2 set screws, and go from there. Next, we've got our 90 degrees, so that's going to be your typical 4-fletch. Like I said, you loosen the top and bottom set screw, tighten down your middle one, and then you have your 75 and 105 degrees. That's going to give kind of this X-vane, X-wing look that you'll see in like Star Wars or whatever. But that's going to be more for like your blade style rest, or if you're someone who likes to shoot a 4-fletch but wants a little bit more clearance, fletching your arrows like that will help. Play with that. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. I typically stick to the typical 90-degree 4-fletch and have good luck with it. Now if I was running a blade style rest on my target bow, that would definitely be something I'd want to try out. Alright, so I've got my jig. We are going to fletch this arrow up, and we are going to do a 3-fletch with a left offset. So what I'm going to do starting out is, we can see right now I've got my 90-degree set screw backed in, so it's set for 4-fletch. I'm going to come in with my Allen wrench, and then I'm going to back that 90-degree set screw out. So when I do that, this just sits there and rotates because there's nothing to catch it on. So I'm going to tighten down where it says 120 degrees. There you go. So now it's catching in those grooves at 120 degrees, but if I tighten it down too much, it's really, I can't even turn it. So back it out just a little bit, just where it falls right in there, nice and smooth. So got it set to 120 degrees. So to get started, I'll take my arrow and set it in there. You'll feel it kind of fall into that groove. And this arrow, as you kind of twist it, should sit in there, not moving a bunch. And now to find the setting how I want my arrow to go, I'm going to put my fletching in my jig. I'm going to line it up with this 4. So when you're finding the distance, how far up the shaft that you want the fletching, there's a few things to factor in. I typically like to run about a 4, maybe a 3, but anything like closer than that, I can start to feel some face contact. Anyone with a thick beard, they may want to run it even further forward because they don't want to get that fletching contact. So you want to get the vane as far back as you can without having face contact. So find what suits your face the best. If you can run it back further, great. If not, run a little bit further forward. But yeah, so I got it there. Like I said, sitting about the 4th tick mark. And then I will take my jig, lay it on there, and I can look and see how the fletching is sitting on there. So it looks like we've got just a little bit of a left, but we're also kind of sitting on the side of the arrow. So I need to kick this way to kind of get a little bit better contact with the base of my fletching. So what you can do is then come loosen these. I'll loosen these just a little bit. This allows me to kind of mess with, so I know that this back end needs to come out a little bit, so I'm going to move it. You also can see you've got your little indicators if you need to keep up with where you're at. So move that. I still want a slight left offset, so I may move this top one a little bit, but something right about in here is going to give me a good left offset while keeping good contact. So play with those to make sure you've got good contact. Tighten these back down. You can see, hold this straight. We are coming a little bit to the left, and then we are more on the shaft than we were at the start. So good starting point. Tighten down. Not all vanes require a primer pin, but this tack vane does. So I'll just take my felt pin, run it down the base of the fletching, get it going. Oops, throwing all that around. And then I'm just going to take, and I like to do a thin line all the way down the base of my fletching. So just want to make sure that there's glue all the way throughout. There's no air gaps. And then what I'm going to do is I'll take my jig, push it straight down to where you've hit the base. If you're up here when you go, or if you start putting it on and you're way up here, it's going to throw you off. So make sure you have contact at the bottom right here. I like to touch that, and then I'm going to go, I like to work it from bottom to top. So pushing, just like so. And then I like to give it some pretty good pressure. So hold it for about 5 seconds, let it off, and I like to give it about 10 more seconds or so to let it really settle and sit. For the sake of the video, I'll pull it off. Actually, when I'm letting it dry, where I'm letting it, you can see if there's any glue that comes out here. I'll just take my paper towel, wipe it off, and then it's ready. And you can rotate it. Wipe off the other side. I'll just finish out this arrow really fast, and we'll look at it. There we go. Let me clean this off. Make sure, try to go fast. It may not be the cleanest fletching job ever, but there you go. We've got a 3 fletch. If y'all can see this here. The pretty good left offset. So we went pretty strong with our left offset, but got it fletched. You can see what I'll do on the end of all my arrows. when I'm fletching is I'll take a glue. I'm just going to put a dab. This is just going to ensure if it hits something, hits another arrow, it may help those ends from popping off. So I'll put it on just like that. I'll let it dry, and they'll stick really, really well. Alright guys, so that was the basics of how to use the fletching jig. This is a very versatile fletching jig that can be used for lots of different vane configurations and setup. It's a great jig for someone who's wanting to do their own stuff and tinker a little bit. And just a few quick points. Make sure to take the time to set your jig up to your different arrows. So at first it was set for my size 23 diameter arrows, and now going down to a 5mm diameter arrow, it's going to be different. So I needed to take the time, make sure that this lines up well on the base of the fletching, lines up well to the shaft. That way when I press it down, it has a good grip and bite. It's not going to fall off because half of your fletching is hanging off the edge. So just take time, align that. If like this one's pretty strong, if you wanted to go a little bit weaker on the offset, just adjust your jig a little bit. Take this one, scrape it, and refletch it. So kind of play with it. They also have sticker kits that you can put on there. But overall, easy to use. Don't be afraid to put some pressure in it when you're pushing down the clamp. Take the time, mess with it. If you have any more questions about this, drop them in the comments below. Let us know what your favorite fletching jig is, the favorite vane configurations that you run, and y'all have a great day, and thanks for watching.